Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Trouble Funk becomes the first go-go band to headline Wolf Trap's Filene Center this Sunday. I spoke with frontman Big Tony Fisher about the band's rise to stardom on the DC go-go scene.
Oh, man, thank you for having me. Excited, very excited about it.
Everyone around the DC area who's interested in go-go knows the band Trouble Funk, and I want to get into some of the history of the band in a second, but let's start with the Wolf Trap show. I mean, is this your guys' first big gig back since the pandemic, or have you been touring?
Yes, this is our first big gig back, man, and we're very excited. This is, I consider it a very historical moment. I'm just happy that they chose Trouble Funk to be a part of it. As a matter of fact, they said, well, I did an interview with one of the magazines, and they asked me how did it feel to be the first of many to come to actually celebrate Wolf Trap's anniversary. I forgot what year it was. And
I think it's their 50th. It's their 50th.
Right, and I didn't even know that. So it was like, man, from that point on, it was like, yeah, it feels really good now, So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be something very special. Absolutely,
and I know joining you on stage, you have some special guests. Who's going to be?
Yeah, I got some of my special guest friends, Big Brother Sugar Bear and the legendary DJ Cool, man. And we're going to get out there and rip that joint up.
Oh, everyone remembers them, and DJ Cool's Let Me Clear My Throat. I mean,
yes. Mr. Let Me Clear My Throat. Yes, sir.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
I love it. But what, if some of our listeners are fans of you, what, I don't want you to have to spoil the set list or anything, but, and Go-Go's sort of a little more free flowing anyway, but, what can we expect to hear if we haven't maybe, seen you live in a while?
Well, you could expect to hear all of the Trouble Funk classic hits for one. The only problem with that is that, we got so many songs, so many hits. We won't be able to play all of them, but we're going to definitely try to get as many as we can in there. We have a really big catalog. So
after 30 years, yeah, you could play for 30 years straight if you played them all.
Yeah, man. But it's going to be really exciting, man. Like I said, we got a really high-powered set, and it's going to be very energetic, man. And we just look forward, man, to really doing something special, man, at the Wolf Trap, because this is our very first time. So I want to leave a big impression. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to coming back. So, I want to stamp that joint.
We can't. I love it. Well, you mentioned you're over, 30-year-old plus in history. Take me back to the beginning then. When you were founded in what, like 1978, I think?
We're actually celebrating 45 years plus.
Whoa.
Technically, because, we got started in the mid-70s. We got our first hit record in 78.
Gotcha. Well, how did the band come together? How did you get all the, I'm sure it's a long story, but is there a quick way to remind us how you brought the initial group?
Well, man, we're a bunch of guys that located from throughout the Southeast area. We always played music together, some was kin, like my cousin Dyke, may rest in peace, and Taylor Reed, we always played together. And Trouble Band and show was in existence long before I got there. When myself got there, along with Taylor Reed and Dyke, then we changed the name to Trouble Funk. Trouble Band and show was just a top 40 R&B cabaret band before we got there.
So wait, what was it called before you?
Trouble Band and Show.
So Trouble Funk was when you arrived. What was in the name? How'd you come up with the name? Because it's catchy as hell, man.
It's crazy, man. It's a great story too, because what happened was we had bought a B3, a Hammond B3 organ, and it was used. So on the front panel, the panel was missing. And you could see all the wires and stuff. So Dyke and I, we went and bought a piece of board and we painted it, and we got some glitter and some Elmer's glue and a magic marker, and we wrote on there trouble in big writing, will in little writing, funk in big writing, and you. So it said trouble will funk you. But all you see from a distance was trouble funk. And gotcha. And that's what the people started calling us, so it stuck.
I love it. Now, talk about sort of back then. I mean, that was sort of how the band got together, but talk about go-go in general as a genre, how that was bubbling up right around the same time. And what
man.
When did Chuck Brown Band start in relation to you guys?
Oh, man, Chuck started long before we did. As a matter of fact, Chuck is the reason why I play go-go. My first go-go experience was out here in Palmer Park, Maryland, at this place called the Club the Bird. And I seen Chuck Brown the Soul Searchers perform. And at the time, there really wasn't a go-go. Go-go was more like an atmosphere. It was like a place to be. It's like, hey, man, where you going today? I'm going to the go-go to see Chuck Brown the Soul Searchers. It was more like a place to be.
It was a scene.
It was a scene. Absolutely. And what happened was Chuck Brown got tired of the people. He got tired of losing the people on the dance floor. So he used to play with this group, this real percussive Latin group called the Los Latinos. And, of course they played Latin music, but it was very, very percussive. And what he did when he formed his own band, he started playing top 40s, and then he slowed it down a little bit and put the percussion on the one and created a beat to play in between the top 40 songs to keep the people dancing.
Ah, okay. I never knew that's how it all came about.
Yes. So he created that beat, and they called it the go-go beat.
I love
and
it.
Then fast forward, once we got a whiff of what he was doing, because we started opening up for Chuck Brown. Trouble Band and Show was opening up for Chuck Brown, and we would get our butt kicked every week for about 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Because the people, we played the same thing. We played a lot of the same music, but they just responded differently because that beat wasn't there.
Right.
So, so for a long time, man, we were just playing just to take up time. And as soon as Chuck Brown the Soul Searchers come on, man, the floor would get packed. So I would stay around for a while and kind of try to figure out what is it that they're doing that we're not doing, and try to find out the connection of what was going on. And then a light went off one day. And keep in mind, at the time, I was just a bass player for the band. Rio Edwards was the manager. And we was rehearsing there on the off days. So I went to Rio and I said, hey, man, I think I have an idea to make these people dance, but I'm going to need a microphone. So Rio was like, what the hell? We tried everything else. So, let's go ahead and try it your way and see what happens. And my way just happened to work.
Your way always works, man.
Hey, listen, Chuck Brown came in one day and they seen all the people dancing. And Chuck Brown told the guy, Ted Hawkins, Ted Hawkins was the owner of the Club The Burn. Chuck said, I don't want them boys playing with me no more. They try to steal my music.
Well, hey, wait, you mentioned those early clubs. Name some of them. I mean, some of them probably don't even exist anymore around DC, but what were some of the local venues that you usually played?
Well, of course, you had the legendary Howard Theater, the Washington Coliseum. You had the Chapter 3, Part 3. Trouble Funk was very fortunate to bring go-go to up there in Georgetown. We had a spot called the Paragon 2 in Georgetown. They loved it up there, man. It's like it was crazy. So go-go was never in Georgetown before. We was the first band to bring go-go to Georgetown and play at one of those really nice, versatile type of clubs, where you have different nationality of people and stuff like that.
I might date myself as being young, but my parents talk about the Paragon 2 wild times all the time.
yeah, man. So, and then back in the day, we did a lot of of schools. We did the recs and stuff like that. We did a lot of recs, and it's a funny story because I was talking to Scott Van Pelt, and he was telling me how he used to come through there, him and his little crew. He said it was just a bunch of little white boys up in the corner, getting down.
Wait, when did you talk to Scott Van Pelt, Sports Center fan?
Well, Scott Van Pelt is a big Trouble Funk fan. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I brought him up. I got to invite him to the show. But yeah, he's a really big Trouble Funk fan. As a matter of fact, we did we just recently did, not even a year ago, he moved back to DC and we did the new anthem, the anthem song for him.
For his own personal segment of Sports Center, he did the anthem.
Yeah, the Sports Center, I'm sorry, yeah. Sports Center, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that he keeps it real for DC, no matter, you know what I mean? That's a big national flagship, and he always rocks. You mentions the Terps in DC, and of course, Trouble Funk is the theme music.
Great guy, yeah.
That's awesome.
So he always gave us plenty of acknowledgement. I really appreciate that.
That's so cool. Well, we've talked a lot about, about the go-go scene in those early days and the venues you play, but I want to, if you have a minute, throw out some of your songs and hear how you came up with them. Like, how'd you guys come up with Hey Fellas? That thing's become sort of a go-go anthem.
Well, Hey Fellas, back then it's like we would listen to the radio and then whatever was hot, we'd try to come up with our own version of it, So back then, Rick had Super Freak out, and it was a nasty song. It was a very nasty song, but it was subliminal, And I really like the taster, the girls are super freak, So I just came up with the idea, hey fellas, you want to take time out to get close to the ladies? Let's find a super freak so we can take time out to taste time. Man. So I just took the words and just, moved them around a little bit and gave them my own little flavor. And, that's how that song came about. Now, Let's Get Small, it's another big song that we did. And Let's Get Small, that was a tune that, actually it was inspired by, what is his name? He's a comedian, the guy that played the jerk.
Oh, Steve Martin. Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he had a comedy album out called Let's Get Small. That's where I got that hook line from. Now, also Kool and the Gang had a song called Get Down on It.
Get Down on It. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Now what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Do you want to get up? Now what you gonna do? Man. So I took and stamped that right there and gave it my flavor. We always came up with our own original music, but we would take ideas from other songs and recreate our lyrics.
Oh, everybody takes ideas and samples stuff. That's part of the genre.
Chuck Brown, man, he was a master at it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, it kind of works the other way. People sample you guys all the time. For instance,
oh my goodness,
your song "Pump Me Up." I believe isn't that sampled in Public Enemy's "Fight the Power" and "Pump Up the Volume"? I mean, Curtis Blow did it. "If I Ruled the World,"
it's been sampled by so many people.
So take me into the creation of that song, and then also, second part of that question, what you felt, when you hear other people sampling it.
Well, well, as far as the creation of the song, it was a song that we did. It started off called Trouble Funk Gonna Funk You Up. And we was like, nah, we need a better hook line than that. Long story short, to be totally honest with you, and I don't know if you got to cut this out, but the title Pump Me Up came from a porn movie. The idea came from a porn movie, and we just, we created a hook line around that title.
Breaking news on WTOP.
Yeah, man. So it's very interesting. So, and I think Drop the Bomb is the most interesting out of all of them, because with Drop the Bomb, I was running late for a show one day, and the band had to play without me. I was having some car trouble, and when I finally got to the venue, the band was playing, and Dyke was on the synthesizer, and he was going, and all the people was going, drop the bomb, all the people in the audience, and he'd do it again. So I was like, wow, I'm feeling that groove right there. I'm trying to hurry up and hook my guitar up so I can get to the mic. So as soon as I get to the mic, I go like, you want to drop the bomb? And they go, drop the bomb. Then Dyke will throw another little part in there. Choo, 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 choo. So, so that song was created between us and the audience on the spot. And then we took it back to rehearsal, and then we structured it.
But see, that's what's so cool about your music is it's sort of like that interactive interplay between you and the audience creates new the ability to just improvise and then have the audience be a part of what you do. That's a beautiful thing, and that's just the beauty of DC. Period. You know. Oh, absolutely. And I know, you mentioned you've been around since the mid-'70s. There's basically a whole generation grew up with your music, and now they're older, and now maybe they've probably introduced their kids to it, and maybe even grandkids. Yeah. Do you find that your shows sort of bring out a cross generation of folks that either grew up with it and then maybe played it in their car for their kids, and now the kids are
yes. I'm very very surprised to see how a lot of the younger generation gravitate towards our music, and it tells me something that, just like Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, is like, we were very fortunate to be a part of a time where there was such thing as classic music. You know what I'm saying? Because when you put a Trouble Funk tune on, or Busta Loose, or Pump Me Up, or these are tunes that will last forever. George, I call it, the evergreen category.
It's timeless.
Yes, it is. So we was very fortunate to be a part of that baby boomer, I guess, era. Where there were still classics out.
Oh, that music will never die. It'll outlive you and all of us. It'll always be around. Now, also, having been around so long, you also have, there's been some tragedy too. You lost your keyboard player, Robert Psych Dag Reed, in 2008, pancreatic cancer.
Yes.
How hard did that hit? How hard did that hit you all?
Well, it hit very hard, man. I was like, that was like my other half right there. Dyke and I, we wrote most of the songs for the band, and Dyke was like my, people saw, as a matter of fact, people always compare, Chuck D and Flavor Flav to me and Dyke.
Right. That's actually not bad. Well, they sample your stuff, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So, they've been compared to us a lot. It can't be the other way around because we were there long before they were. Yeah. So they just happen to get more, they have more, I guess they have more publicity or whatever, more recognition. As a matter of fact, we toured with Beastie Boys, Fishbone, Red Hot Chili Peppers. All these cats used to open up for us.
Well, I mean, you know why? Because they probably grew up digging your stuff, and it's an honor for them to be able to say they played with you, You're like the elder statesman.
Used to open up for us. Dave Grohl played with a group called Scream, and he used to tell me stories how they used to open up for us and how our music really inspired him to do what he do. And, Dave and I, we became really good friends, really close friends. And, we've actually did a few shows with him. We toured a few shows with him, and, we had planned to do before the pandemic hit, we was going to be opening up, at the RFK Stadium for Foo Fighters.
Oh, that was right before COVID. Wow.
Right. Yeah. So.
Well, maybe you'll still get to it some other point.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's always a pleasure performing with the Foo Fighters.
Well, they just got inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was Dave Grohl's second induction because he was in with Nirvana too. So he's in there twice. I think we need to get Big Tony in there at some point.
Yeah, for real. I mean, hey, that would be really nice, man. I mean, we've been around long enough. I mean, hey, well, we got Chuck in there, so I mean, hey, why not?
Hey, go.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, we'll start the campaign right here with this interview.
All right. That's what's up.
All right,
That's
cool.
what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, anything else you want to, say before we hop off here? It's been an absolute honor talking with you. You know what? Why should folks come on out to the show? Let's wrap it back around to Wolf Trap. You know what? Why should folks come on out? You know, they got their vaccine. It'll be a nice day outside at Wolf Trap National Park. Why should they come out?
Oh man, it's going to be it's been a long time coming. I mean, people need to get out. I know they're going to come out. The show is just about sold out. So, they need to come out because this is going to be a phenomenal show, man. It just ain't no funk like Trouble Funk. You know?
Perfectly said.
Yeah, and if you want some real funk, real uncut funk, then you got to come to the show.
You heard it here. You have to come to the show. It is
absolutely
Sunday, July 18th at 8 p.m. Dick Filene and Trouble Funk with special guest Sugar Bear and the legendary DJ Cool.
Let me clear my throat.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and actually even singing a few lines from your songs. I wasn't even expecting that, but you pumped me up. So,
well, come on down on the 18th, and we're gonna drop the bomb.
Pew!
Yes,
all
sir.
Right. Thanks so much, Big Tony, Trouble Funk on WTOP. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Peace.
Thanks so much for joining us on Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time. I wanted to take a second to tell you about an app I really enjoy. Living in the DC area is great, and Podcast DC gathers all of the local shows that I like all in one local app. Health, sports, local news, politics, and so much more. Podcast DC is the new local app with hundreds of DC area podcasts to choose from. I can earn exciting rewards just for listening and share the podcasts I love instantly. Available in the App Store or in Google Play, listen local with Podcast DC.